This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Monday, August 28th. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, Agriculture Minister Indar Weir is reporting progress with government's massive food terminal project at Lear St. Michael. The terminal is an initiative and is being undertaken in partnership with Guyana and will serve as a hub to transship agricultural produce between the island and other CARICOM states. The estimated cost is $32 million.
The project there is going well. We now put in some greenhouses over there so that we can give people an opportunity to experience greenhouse farming. We're training people to install the greenhouses and also how to use them. We have used up all the commercial spaces at Lear's, and we have also started the community garden project as well. I will wait now to see how the farmers perform, because we can go as far as providing everything, but it's still up to the farmers to perform and to make sure they go out there and take advantage of the opportunities that are being provided.
An update on the island's black belly sheep initiative with Guyana.
Actually, that's going very well. We have now been able to deliver just around 700 black belly sheep to Guyana, and those sheep have been passed on to various farmers in various areas, because you know Guyana is divided up into areas across Guyana. What we will continue to do is our monitoring to see how the black belly sheep is performing in Guyana, how many lambs we get, and the whole purpose of this project is to make sure we can expand the number of black belly sheep. The crossing is to give us a chance to get more meat from the black belly sheep, because you know it's a fairly lean sheep, and in order for us to be able to get it to produce more meat, we had to do a crossing. So with the sheep in Guyana that we're crossing with, we're hoping that we can get the numbers, but at the same time be able to have a more leany and better lamb than what we currently get.
Minister Weir has also commented on the vending situation in Barbados, with specific reference to recent concerns about the non-removal of shells by some coconut vendors along different stretches of the highway.
This has been an ongoing problem. First of all, I understand the coconut vendors having to make a living, and in Barbados we refer to most things as a hustle when people have to go against the grain to be able to make a living. But there is legislation in place under the new Vendors Act, which speaks to the provision of vending zones, so that we can actually remove all those vending activities off the highway, because it poses a danger, really and truly, to the lives of the people who are vending and also those who will pull up in their cars to purchase from the vendors. So those vending zones will give an opportunity for us to have safe areas where the coconut vendors can still continue to ply their trade and provide for people to be able to go to them, and at the same time create a cleaner environment than what is currently obtained.
Meanwhile, in commenting on the broader vendors situation, the Agriculture Minister says there is still a very high demand for vending spaces across the various markets, particularly the newer spaces.
Actually, the new market at Fairchild Street, we have more applications than spaces, and so that's always a good sign. But we are working on a plan now to refurbish and maintain all the markets in Bridgetown and right across Barbados. So Fairchild Street is one. That is out of the way now. I'm just looking forward to seeing all the stalls being occupied, because this gives an opportunity for people to become self-employed and be enfranchised. And then right across all the markets which fall under my ministry, we're doing a maintenance and repairs program so that we can get more stalls open up.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, the delay of cargo ships going through Panama extended into next year.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
The Panama Canal, a vital passageway that moves 6% of the world's maritime commerce, will be extending transit restrictions for at least 10 additional months due to drought-induced low water levels.
Moving a ship like the one you're looking at through the Panama Canal requires around 100 million gallons of water. That's for each ship going through. So we're talking about 32 ships in a day, now that the restrictions are in place, but now that number goes up to 38 or even 40 ships a day when the canal is operating normally. Given the current drought, these restrictions will remain in place for at least another 10 months according to the canal's authority, and that's because the canal is worried of what will happen in the near future. They are worried that this drought will continue in the coming months and that they will not have enough water to continue operating the canal, not even at the restricted or the limited level at which it is operating now. There's also an issue of what will happen in the future, given the fact that these droughts are becoming more frequent and more severe in their effects. Possibly the solution there will be diverting some of the other rivers in Panama, trying to increase the capacity of the artificial lakes that allow for the canal to function. Most of the water that is used here, if not all of it, then ends it's flushed into the oceans. The canal is also considering ways to store that water and try to reuse it. But if you talk to experts here, they're telling you that the time to act is now, because the situation is becoming more dramatic every year as the climate is changing.
Russian authorities have confirmed that the death of Wagner Group chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, putting to rest any doubts about whether the mercenary leader turned mutineer was on a plane that crashed, killing everyone on board.
The confirmation the world was waiting for. The official announcement of the identities of the 7 passengers and 3 crew members killed in the plane crash on Wednesday evening. Russia's investigative committee says the names of the passengers on the flight manifest match the bodies recovered from the crash site.
Molecular genetic examinations have been completed as part of the criminal case of the airplane crash in the Tver region. According to the results, the identities of all 10 victims have been established. They correspond with the list stated in the flight manifest.
Meanwhile, on the streets of the capital, mixed reaction to the news of the plane crash.
Yes, it's good, because traitors end up like that. We don't feel sorry for traitors.
Of course it's a pity. He was a hero of Russia. It's always a pity to lose such people.
I think it is a tragedy. A human tragedy and a tragedy for society. He was a cult figure. People knew about him.
Many ordinary Russians have paid spontaneous tribute to Prigozhin. Memorials like these have been popping up across Russia. This is the Church of St. Maxim the Confessor in the heart of the capital. It's been turned into a makeshift memorial site for the members of Wagner Group who died in the plane crash. This is both a testament to the popularity of Yevgeny Prigozhin and a message to officials that despite efforts to downplay the importance of his death, his legacy will continue to live on, as many questions remain unanswered not only about his death, but also about the future of one of the most notorious mercenary groups in the world.
Well, it's time now to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. Today we're talking with Sean Clark of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development about bullying and the effects it can have on mental health. We'll also be speaking with Dr. Dale Springer from the QEH, all about breast health, and we're talking real estate in retirement. That's all coming up at 6:30, but next we have more news, sports and weather. Stay with us.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted,
98.1 to 1 is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners.
And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One. Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Barbados is testing its execution of a Type 2 World Health Organization field hospital. It offers all the services of a general hospital on a temporary site. It's being done through a 2-day full exercise being executed by the Barbados Defence Forces Field Medical Team on the stadium grounds. Officer in charge of the BDF Major David Clark says 120 cadets from the Barbados Cadet Corps are also participating in the simulation, which was held over the weekend.
The scenario is that there was an earthquake, and following the earthquake we have the survivors of the earthquake. We are actually testing the patient flow of our type 2 field hospital, and so all the doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, orderlies, everybody actually doing their part so we can see if any gaps are in our system, and taking everybody all the way through to either transporting them to another healthcare facility or discharging them. So far the exercise is going quite well. The young people are really enjoying the exercise.
Several medical experts, including nurses, participated in the exercise. One of them, Caroline Thompson-Gaskin, explained some of the services available in the setup.
This is the main operating theatre. In this unit, we can do minor to minor surgeries such as debridements, wound suturing. We can do external fixations for fractures to limbs and repairing of any arteries that may be cut. We can repair them. That's basically it, really.
And educators calling on government to create early intervention programs to prevent more children from slipping through the cracks in the education system. Dr. Astra Bab made the appeal, noting too many children who have not mastered critical reading and comprehension skills in primary school are sent to secondary school. Her comments came at the closing ceremony for Bab's Reading Clinic. This year, 65 at-risk boys between the ages of 10 and 15 completed the program.
Can we justify sending illiterate children to sit the common entrance examination? Also, why is it difficult for those ministers who fund programs for the youth to realize that they need to pay attention to the young boys who cannot read? How about including them in after-school programs which encourage reading? Reading does not only have to be taught in school. How about investing in preventative measures when these young boys are young, instead of waiting for these prospective scholars to join the boys on the block?
Dr. Bab also wants parents to help children along the way by encouraging them to read aloud and to the kids.
Many of the weaker boys did not know letter sounds when they started, as we said before. But now they are reading, even though it may not be at their expected grade level. I am asking the parents of these boys to let them read to you. Let them read to you, and let them see you reading. There is only one cure for the inability to read, and that is to read.
A gang in Haiti has shot and killed at least 7 people who were marching in a big protest yesterday, organized by a church leader.
Armed with machetes and batons, hundreds of churchgoers marched through the town of Canaan on the outskirts of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. They want to rid the area of gangs. Protesters searched homes, and a suspected gang member was beaten to death.
This machete is to cut off the heads of those who are making the people leave their homes, because these gangs make our lives unbearable and destroy the country. We will stop it.
I came to preach to the gangs to change their lives, because this violence is not good.
But as this group marched through the town, the gang that controls the area opened fire with machine guns.
The gangs are shooting at us. I'm looking for shelter.
Local rights groups say many people were killed and dozens wounded, and some people were kidnapped. Some have accused the organiser of the march of being irresponsible, saying parishioners with machetes were no match for gang members armed with assault weapons. Gang violence has grown out of control in Haiti. Up to 80% of Port-au-Prince is now under the control of armed groups. This year alone, 2,400 people have been killed and nearly 1,000 kidnapped. Fed up with the surge in violence, some people organised a vigilante movement in April that targets and kills suspected gang members. A spiralling pattern of violence, and every day members of the public are increasingly paying the price.
The opposition in Belize has voiced its concern over minors' involvement in gangs in Belize. In recent months, minors have been making headlines for their involvements in shooting incidents, gang-related murders, and the transportation of illegal firearms. Chairman of the United Democratic Party, Michael Plea, a former Minister of National Security, says the issue has been a concern for security services, and he harped on the need for government to address the situation.
There's always been intelligence that gang leaders tend to recruit very young men to join these organizations and young women too, to join these organizations or be affiliated with them. Because number one, they're more impressionable. Number two, you wouldn't suspect a child to be involved in that kind of activity at that level. And the general public certainly would not expect that level of activity from children. You don't think, or you don't want to think or believe that children are involved, but there's always been intelligence that they're heavily involved. And thirdly, the younger they are, unfortunately, the less culpable they are for criminal offenses. So if you find an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old in possession of these weapons, or even a 12-year-old in possession of these weapons, the justice system is less harsh on that person. So we always used to look into and heavily investigate the possibility of minors, very, very young minors, being involved in criminal activity, because it makes the older gang leaders being able to separate themselves from the more serious crimes. And it's a serious concern.
In efforts to strengthen the tourism sector, 12 tourist products were submitted for the Guyana Tourism Product Development Grant Program, bringing innovative and exciting tourist attractions to the existing market. The deadline for applicants was on August 10th. GTA Director Karmul Barshk revealed the submissions are diverse.
They range from a number of new products or new experiences, really. So we have an ATV tour experience, we have 2 river trips, a catch and release sports fishing experience, we have a kayaking experience, we have a mountain biking experience, we have a jungle survival experience, and a community-based experience. So a number of experiences across 8 administrative regions. So it's a great spread across the regions, and I think it's a diverse range of new experiences that will be developed from now on to the end of the year, and even on to next year. So we're going to be meeting with those shortlisted applicants within the next week to confirm the contractual arrangements for the disbursements of funds. Each applicant or each product, they have a financial plan, and we'll be using the financial plan as a means to disburse the funds to the applicant, because each of the applicants had to do an experience design. They also had to come up with a specific itinerary, and all of them had to attain invoices for the particular costs that will incur to operationalize the tour.
Jamaica's Ministry of Health and Wellness has worked with the Pan American Health Organization, or PAHO, to train a cohort of over 100 individuals to recognize and provide assistance to individuals diagnosed with mental illnesses. CVM Television has that story.
Jamaica welcomes its first batch of trained Problem Management Plus providers, 162 to be precise. The program, which takes a preventative and early intervention approach to enhance mental wellness, was launched by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in association with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO. It aims to help Jamaicans identify and cope with psychological issues. Consultant psychiatrist Senator Dr. Sophia Longmore says it's all in a bid to reframe the stigma attached to mental illness by bringing awareness and mental wellness to support those in need.
We knew that there was great need for this type of intervention. We knew that people were undergoing stress. We knew that we're in a culture that is predisposed, unfortunately, to trauma and violence.
With this knowledge, Dr. Longmore points out the decision to train people within the community, such as faith-based and community leaders, was deliberate.
But just because of the level that you are in contact with, you're able to offer a helping hand, and for that I congratulate you. We're talking about hairdressers, barbers, again persons associated with churches, etc. And so the reach is significant.
The graduates were trained in areas such as stress management techniques, basic helping skills, and to identify signs of common mental health disorders. Dr. Longmore, however, warns, even with these acquired skills, providers will encounter challenging scenarios.
Make sure you recognize what you can and cannot take on. You have some serious challenges out there. Ensure we have screening processes. What I hope is that we will also get the collaborative resources that we can channel to those more serious conditions that you cannot take on, because that need is great.
Longmore believes the more people are aware of the various forms of mental illnesses, the more they will seek help. Therefore, answering the call to intervene, this is only one of many initiatives being rolled out by the ministry.
In sports, for the second consecutive year, Barbados has won overall gold at Carifta Triathlon and Aquathlon Championships in Bahamas. Competing over the weekend, Barbados totaled 182 points while securing 15 medals, including 8 gold, 3 silver and 4 bronze. Zara Gaskin won 2 golds in the 20-21 girls triathlon and aquathlon. Isis Gaskin also produced a double gold performance in the 16-19 girls. Layla McIntyre also won 2 gold medals in the 11-12 girls. Luke McIntyre won the 13-15 boys aquathlon, and newcomer Isabella Mears took gold in the 13-15 girls aquathlon. Second behind Barbados was Bermuda with 128 points and 8 medals. Barbados is expected to host the Carifta Triathlon and Aquathlon events next year. Let's take a look at the weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1013.4 millibars. It's presently 26.7 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity stands at 85%, and the winds are blowing out of the east-southeast at 6 kilometers per hour. General conditions partly cloudy. Sea conditions moderate in open water with northerly swells ranging from 5 to 1.5 meters. And here's a look at how your tides roll in. General forecast for Barbados, cloudy with sunny periods with a few brief scattered light to moderate showers. Into the evening, here's what you can expect. Cloudy conditions with clear periods with the occasional breeze, scattered light to moderate showers. That's today's morning report. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations, 100.7 FM, 98.11 and 94.7 FM. It's time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning indeed. It is Monday, August 28th. Welcome to another presentation of Morning Barbados. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. I hope you had a great weekend. There was lots happening, lots to do. I'm sure you got out and enjoyed yourself a little. If you got out to the beach, good for you. If you stayed at home and got some rest, good for you too. Whatever worked best for you. Hey, so we're going to have a good old time today on Morning Barbados. A little bit of fun, some seriousness, but we're going to share some great information with you as well. Today we're taking a look at breast health. It's been a while since we've talked about that, and especially as we start to look toward Walking for the Cure, which usually is one of the biggest fundraisers here in Barbados to do with breast health and breast cancer awareness and so on. We are going to be speaking with Dr. Dale Springer, Consultant General and Breast Surgeon at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. It's the beginning of a new series where we really want to start to bring some awareness once again to good breast health. Also, we're taking a look at retirement and talking real estate, what you need to do to be able to be ready for your retirement. So whether it is clearing up your mortgage or looking into your finances where it comes to your housing and so on. Today we're specifically taking a look at renting, which is very, very important in these times. We definitely have to plan for the future. That conversation really has been going on in many circles, so we of course want to be a part of it as well. But we're starting with something that's very, very important. I mean, just hearing this morning that another Caribbean government has moved along with the WHO to train over 100 people to be able to recognize mental illnesses, and we most certainly are trying to do our part to be able to help those around us as they struggle through, or if they struggle through, any challenges. Sean Clark of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development has been helping us in this regard, and he's doing lots of work along with his partners and other people who work along with him to be able to make it happen. Good morning to you once again, Sean. Good to have you with us. All right, as you can tell, I must apologize. I'm a little nasal today. You know how it goes, but yes. I've been having some perennial challenges with, I guess, the environment and things of that nature. So a little nasal today, but certainly always good to see you.
Likewise, and you're a strong person. You're a fighter. For
sure. All right, so today we're looking at mental health and the effects of bullying, the effects bullying can have on mental health. And I know that you embarked on a series. Luckily, I have to thank you. You allowed me to be a part of that in terms of debuting the videos.
Yes.
But you were able to work with a number of partners to kind of get these PSA type videos done to be able to sensitize people about bullying. So talk to me about the making of this particular video and what was behind it.
Well, we felt it necessary to put those videos out there to sensitize the public on bullying and the effects of bullying and the true definition of bullying. What is the impact of bullying? Is it just something that happens? Is it a rite of passage? Is it something that helps a boy to become a man? Or does it have long-term effects, negative effects on the person who is the victim or the target of bullying?
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and let you see this video, and then we come back and start talking about the effects of bullying on mental health.
While the characters presented in this video are fictional, the challenges are real. If you or anyone you know might be experiencing symptoms like the ones discussed in this video, do not attempt to self-diagnose. For more information, contact Supreme Counseling for Personal Development at 836-5601.
All right, so I want you to use 3 works from each artist and compare their abilities using your knowledge of literary devices. Write an argument telling me which one is better.
Look at this idiot.
What's up, Lyle? What's going on? You ain't planning to eat today?
Bro, what happened? I could just get some money for lunch, please.
Again? Who was this? And I see mommy give you money this morning.
Don't bother.
Lyle!
Lyle? Lyle, is everything okay? You hardly touched your food.
I ain't think he had nothing to eat for lunch either.
Just shut up, Jason.
What really going on with you?
Lyle, is something wrong?
No, I'm just not that hungry, that's all.
Is something happening at school? Jason, what happened to your brother?
All I know is that he done looking a little hungry when I see you today at lunch.
Yeah, you can't help me.
Man, don't start with me, Lyle! You just get me sitting there!
Listen, sit down! Sit down. I said sit down. I am tired of this bickering. And Lyle, if something is wrong, you can come talk to me about it.
You don't understand? You just never understand and you don't even bother to listen.
You can really stop, though.
Jason, stop. The two of you are going to finish your food, clear these dishes, and get to your homework, please. Did I make myself clear? I said, did I make myself clear?
Yes, please.
Good. Lyle, what happened? Your breakfast gone cold. Get up and get ready. I came in here since 30 minutes ago.
Oh man, it's alright. You could go home. I just don't feel eating the breakfast today.
Lyle, you are not sick and you are not hurt. Get up and get ready. I have to leave here just now. And try and clean in this room today. You hear me? Lyle!
I hear you.
Bullying is a serious problem in our country. Our young people are constantly being bullied daily by their peers at school. They're being taunted. They're being teased. Their money is being taken away through extortion. For those of you who are not familiar, bullying is when some person does or says mean or hurtful things to another person who has a hard time defending himself or herself. I want you to realize in the definition that it is not only what we do, but it is what we say as well. Let's take a look at Lyle. Being bullied in the classroom by his peers, the throwing of the paper when the teacher's back was turned. It only takes 3 seconds for any episode of bullying to take place. So in that case, the teacher was not being negligent, absent-minded, but in those 3 seconds, we saw what happened. Then the young man sitting on the outside by himself for lunch. This is another indicator that bullying is taking place, where he has no friends or very little friends. Asking his brother for money, although his mother already gave him funds to purchase lunch. The extortion of funds, the name calling. We saw it all in that video. We also saw, however, a parent that is totally unaware of what is happening with her child. So she was down on the young man. She was constantly pushing him. Let's look at dinner. speaking to him in that aggressive manner. His room not being cleaned, a sign of depression. And depression is one of the impacts, negative impacts of being bullied. We have to create an atmosphere where our young people are comfortable talking with us, coming to us with situations. We need to teach our young people that if they are being bullied, open up and talk to someone. Talk to a trusted friend, a teacher, a family member. Get that child the help that is needed to deal with the situation. Let us not think that bullying is something that will go away. We need to take the time to stop, to step back, to analyze. Why is it that my son is refusing to go to school today? What is happening at school? Why is he so afraid of going to school? We need to dig for these answers. We need to seek the professional help. Supreme Counseling for Personal Development is one of those organizations out there that can give you the help that is needed to help your child brighten his or her future. Thank you.
Definitely a strong message. Sean, you were the one to specifically speak after the bullying video, but I know you did a number of other areas as well, and some of the other experts spoke on them. Why did you choose to speak on bullying specifically?
Well, I am a qualified bullying prevention trainer and consultant. I would have studied bullying prevention, specifically the obvious bullying prevention program at Kempson University, United States, back in, I think, 2014 or thereabout. I am also the regional point person for bullying and bullying prevention, basically trying to assist Caribbean governments and schools to eradicate bullying from the landscape.
I think sometimes the hard thing is to identify what is bullying, and a lot of people kind of go back and forth on it. Some people say, man, the young people nowadays are, to use a Bajan word, touch us. A lot of parents aren't necessarily in tune to what's happening, but how do we determine, is there a definition, a specific definition for what bullying is, and how do we identify it?
Yes, well, bullying is when some person says or does something purposefully that can harm or intimidate another person. So realize that the definition is not only something that we do, because we're in the Caribbean, and I think other parts of the world as well. When we think of bullying, we think of the hitting, the kicking, the shoving. We think of the physical aspect of bullying. We don't see things, for example, like spreading rumors. We don't see things like social isolation or exclusion. We don't see things like indirect bullying in terms of verbal bullying as bullying. So it is not only what we do, but it is also what we say. And we usually try to commit the act of bullying on some person that is weaker, or some person that we perceive to be weaker than we are. Now, how do we go around trying to identify whether there's a case of bullying or not? There are three main components that we look for. One, it's an imbalance of power and strength. So we try to see if there's an imbalance. This imbalance can come in terms of size, in terms of age, in terms of authority. It is something that is done repeatedly, and it is something that is done on purpose. Now, usually when we say it is something that is done repeatedly, people tend to think, okay, that I must bully Sean 5 days a week for it to be considered bullying. But it can also be a one-off event, in that I bully Sean on Monday, I bully David on Tuesday, I bully Sandra on Wednesday, I bully Sharon on Thursday, I bully Paul on Friday. Then it is still a repeated behavior. It is just that we have more than one target of bullying. So those are the three things that we look for: the imbalance of power and strength, a repeated behavior, and something that is done on purpose.
In your experience as a counselor, how would you say that bullying affects people's mental health?
Well, for sure, bullying, the effects of bullying, we can look firstly at persons being anxious and depressed. That is one of the effects of bullying, and you can see directly how that impacts mental health, or that is how that is associated to mental health. Low self-esteem, persons not believing in self, not believing in the ability to get things done. Loneliness is also another effect of bullying, feeling afraid. And we know when we are afraid of things, we are afraid to face things and to face people. They have a young lady that I worked with several years ago who is now studying psychology. I'm very, very proud of her. But she was a target of bullying, more so by females. And up to this day, although she's an adult, she still feels intimidated to be around females. So from that, from that alone, we can see that this is something that happened to her in her childhood, but now as an adult, it is still having an effect on her. And then the suicidal ideation, or the suicidal thoughts, or in some cases, the suicidal attempts, self-harming and that kind of thing.
Now, Sean, we focus a lot on those being bullied, but what about the bullies themselves? Because there must be something happening with them. And I would imagine a lot of the times people who are bullying others are suffering through challenges themselves.
Yes, in some cases, it could be a psychological disorder where the person exhibiting the bullying behaviors need to sit with a psychologist or counselor to work through what is happening with them. In some cases as well, it is something that is happening in the household. Maybe that child, maybe that child is a target of bullying in the household.
Yeah.
And I cannot hit back mommy, I cannot hit back daddy. So I'm going to go in the yard and kick the dog. Or I'm going to hold the cat by its tail and I'm going to toss it.
I want to stick a pin there. When you say bullying in the household, and you can't hit back mom or dad, what are you talking about? Are you talking about cases of abuse?
There could be cases of abuse, and as adults, we bully a lot. We bully a whole lot, but we don't see it as bullying. In some cases, we say, oh, I'm mommy or I'm daddy, I'm correcting you. I'm instilling discipline. But when you speak negatively to a child, for example, or you're no good, you come in here, you fail that exam again, all of these things that could cause a child to lower his or her self-esteem, that's also bullying. So you realize that mommy and daddy is doing this to me. I cannot necessarily take it out on them. So I'm going to go to school and I'm going to look for some person who I perceive to be weaker than I am. And I am going to lash out at that person. So that person who is exhibiting the bullying behaviors, that person also needs help. And that is why, as a part of the obvious bullying prevention program, we not only concentrate on the targets of bullying, we look at the person exhibiting the bullying behaviors, or who we consider the bully, and we look at the bystanders as well, those watching on, those looking on, because we believe that all three parties in the episode of bullying needs to be targeted and needs to, to be addressed for us to put an end to bullying.
Well, this is a lot to deal with. And I know that a lot of the times when we think about bullying, we think of younger people. But as you mentioned, adults are often involved in a lot of bullying, even in the workplace.
Yes. And you can say in the workplace, for example, I not only have I been in the company for the past 20 years, but I went and I got qualified, and I do my renewal training every year and so on. I'm really qualified to be supervisor, but for some reason my manager, there's some kind of conflict going on there. There's something about me that this person dislikes. So the person that came in last year that has a good relationship with the manager, that person steps over me and becomes my supervisor. So you say it in that form. You also say it in the form, for example, where one person is given all the work and the other person's desk is somewhat clear. You also say in terms of giving time off. You make certain requests and you're told, well, no, you can't have time off today because Junior is going to be off today, or Junior asks to go to a wedding, or Sandra wants to go to town and shop. But whenever you make a request, your request is being denied.
How does this impact people in terms of their mental health?
Again, depressed, it offers a level of depression. And when the person is depressed, that person can no longer perform at his or her best. Once you get that depression, then you get a drop in productivity. That person being anxious. There are some persons that will say to you, I don't know why, but from Monday morning to Friday evening, I'm feeling sick. there's something going on with me. But then as soon as they walk out the door on Friday evening, know that they have the weekend to themselves. They feel good again, they feel healthy, they feel energized. And then as soon as they're pressing their working clothes on Sunday afternoon, that feeling comes over them again. And it is because, for example, in some cases, that person is being bullied at work, that person is being taken advantage of at work. And we really need to pay close attention to this. As employers, we need to be able to offer some level playing field to our workers, and not only see our workers as they did years ago as hands, but as human beings, as persons that we need in order to get, to that end game.
All right, tell you what, we're going to take a break and come back as we continue this discussion. Remember, you can weigh in on the discussion as well. We encourage you to share your comments on Facebook or on the live stream on YouTube as well. We often share them with the viewers on the live television show. So feel free to do that. And if you want to share with us online or ask any questions, you can email us morningbarbados@cbc.bb. We'll be right back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customer.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This morning we're sitting in with Sean Clark of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, and we're talking about bullying and its effects on mental health. And we touched on a number of areas, young people in schools. We also talked about the bullying in the workplace, bullying in the home. But as we look to the new school year, as we look to the children going back into school, I want to focus specifically on that. We hear so much about fighting in schools, and the video that we showed earlier specifically depicts that as well. Talk about some of the coping mechanisms that we can try to help our children with as they go into secondary schools or as they go back to school. I know at one time parents used to tell children, don't let nobody hit you, hit the back. If somebody hit you, juke them with a pencil. All kinds of things parents used to tell their children to do. But these days, there's so much violence going on. So to tell your children to retaliate might not be the best thing to do.
No, it is not the best thing to do at all. And one thing we need to know about bullies is that they can be what we call hunchmen or followers. And they very seldom perform the act of bullying themselves. They have persons that they send out, to commit the I would call crime.
The bullies have minions?
Yes, they do. According to the young people, they have a lot of backative. So that, to advise your child to, jerk in the eye with the pencil, that is not advisable at all, because you can be putting your child in a situation to be seriously hurt. It is better to advise your child to find a trusted adult, whether it be a teacher, whether it be some person from the janitorial staff, the non-teaching staff, whether it be the principal, some person in the home, whether it's the parent, the grandparent, a friend. Have your child find some person that they trust, that they can talk to, that they can say, well, I am being bullied at school, and have that person then intervene on their behalf. We, however, are not advocating that you will go and tell some person that will give you that negative advice as, you know, what to go to school, or to put this in your bag, or to put that in your bag, to deal with him or her. So one, we ask them to speak to a trusted adult. Two, if you know that bullying takes place, for example, in the restroom, then you know, you go to the restroom a bit earlier or a bit later. On the school compound, you have more than one bathroom. So if the bullying is taking place in one restroom, you can find another restroom. Yes, it may cause you to, you know, to walk a bit further or whatever the case is, but that is advisable. Three, we also advise young people to walk in groups. If you know that you are a target of bullying, walk in groups, walk with your friends. You know, invite some person who is being bullied or who is a loner to join you at lunch, to join you, you know, when you're sitting eating alone. Advise the person to come over and to join with you. So those are some of the things that we advise young people, and to avoid hotspots. Now, hotspots are those areas where there's a high prevalence of bullying. Some schools it's in the restroom, other schools it's in the canteen area, other schools it's on the playing field. Now, at some schools you can have it in the classroom. Yes, sometimes in the presence of a teacher, or with the teacher absent from the classroom. Now, when we say that it can happen in the presence of a teacher, that is not to say that the teacher is being absent-minded, but any episode...
But we saw it in the video where they were behind there kind of tossing at the child.
Exactly, because any episode of bullying takes just 3 seconds. So again, as you saw in the video, the teacher can be writing something on the whiteboard and can be attending another child, what have you, just 3 seconds. That's all they need.
Before we go, in your experience, do you find that cyberbullying presents other issues for mental health than even in-person bullying, or is it pretty much an even keel?
Well, no, cyberbullying is still not the #1 type of bullying in the world, including Barbados. Verbal bullying is the #1 type of bullying in Barbados and other parts of the world. However, cyberbullying is massively on the increase. And yes, we think that that can massively impact or affect someone's mental health, even more so than the traditional bullying. Because with the cyberbullying, it can go viral. It can, some person in Australia, you know, in Helsinki can see what is happening in Barbados, and that puts you at risk. And secondly, it is not easy to find the origins of the message. Who started this message? Who took Sean's head and put it on a donkey's body? So yes, cyberbullying can massively affect or impact one's mental health, but we are saying to our young people, we are saying to our adults that we need to stay away from any type of bullying, whether it be the traditional bullying in terms of the hitting, the kicking, the shoving, the body slamming, the name calling, and so on, and we need to stay away from cyberbullying as well.
Taking away your money and lunch and
yes, and then not only that, we need to, what I've started doing with young people is that I've started making the association between bullying and breaking the law. Because oftentimes they just say it as bullying. They just take it as, say as taking away some person's money. But that's extortion.
It's robbery
It's
too.
robbery, and it's against the law. You know, if we're going to cuff some person, that's assault, and that's against the law. So as soon as we start making the association between what is bullying and what is, you know, against the law, then our young people will start to realize, you know, this thing is not as funny as I really think it is.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're most welcome.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, are we truly making a dent? I guess only time will tell.
Yes.
But it's important for people to, you know, stay woke, stay aware, and be aware of what's happening, particularly with your children. I think bullying, there's a culture of bullying in Barbados. People call it music.
Yeah.
They feel like they can tell you just about anything, and other people sit on the sidelines and laugh, and that's pretty much what happens online as well.
Yes.
In the online community, where people get really disrespectful and tell people the nastiest, ugliest, sometimes biggest lies, and it becomes just a joke, whereas it can ruin people's reputation and cause irreparable damage to their mental health. So it's important to consider these things as we move forward. When you know better, you do better.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much, Sean. Always insightful to share with you. And of course, you can see these PSAs airing on CBC TV 8 as well, or you can find Supreme Counseling online, and they also have shared them on their social media pages. Hey, it's coming up to just after 7 or so we're going to update you on the news. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's Monday, August 28th. It's time for an update of the CBC News. Agriculture Minister Inda Weir is reporting progress with government's massive food terminal project at Lear St. Michael. The terminal, an initiative being undertaken in partnership with Guyana, will serve as a hub to transship agricultural produce between the island and other CARICOM member states. The estimated cost is $32 million.
The project is going well. We now put in some greenhouses over there so that we can give people an opportunity to experience greenhouse farming. We're training people to install the greenhouses and also how to use them. We have used up all the commercial spaces at Lear's, and we have also started the community garden project as well. I will wait now to see how the farmers perform, because we can go as far as providing everything, but it's still up to the farmers to perform and to make sure they go out there and take advantage of the opportunities that are being provided.
The minister also provided an update on the island's black-belly sheep initiative in Guyana.
Actually, that's going very well. We have now been able to deliver just around 700 black-belly sheep to Guyana. And those sheep have been passed on to various farmers in various areas, because you know Guyana is divided up into areas across Guyana. What we will continue to do is our monitoring to see how the black-belly sheep is performing in Guyana, how many lambs we get, and the whole purpose of this project is to make sure we can expand the number of black-belly sheep. The crossing is to give us a chance to get more meat from the black-belly sheep, because you know it's a fairly lean sheep, and in order for us to be able to get it to produce more meat, we had to do a crossing. So with the sheep in Guyana that we're crossing with, we're hoping that we can get the numbers, but at the same time be able to have a more leany and better lamb than what we currently get.
Meanwhile, sad news this morning: an elderly man was killed after being struck by a vehicle Sunday evening. The accident took place at 10 minutes to 6 along Lodge Road in Christchurch. The Barbados Police Service says the deceased is identified as 71-year-old Clyde Squires of Cliff Cottage, St. John, and he died on the scene. No other injuries were reported. Investigations are continuing. Barbados is testing its execution of a Type 2 World Health Organization field hospital. It offers all the services of a general hospital on a temporary site. It's being done through a 2-day full exercise being executed by the Barbados Defence Forces Field Medical Team on the stadium grounds. Officer in charge of the BDF, Major David Clark, says 120 cadets from the Barbados Cadet Corps are also participating in the simulation, which was held over the weekend.
Is that there was an earthquake, and following the earthquake we have the survivors of the earthquake. We are actually testing the patient flow of our Type 2 field hospital, And so all the doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, orderlies, everybody actually doing their part so we can see if any gaps are in our system, and taking everybody all the way through to either transporting them to another healthcare facility or discharging them. So far the exercise is going quite well. The young people are really enjoying the exercise.
Several medical experts, including nurses, participated in the exercise. One of them, Carol Ann Thompson Gaskin, explained some of the services available in the setup.
This is the main operating theatre in this unit. We can do minor to minor surgeries such as debridements, wound suturing. We can do external fixations for fractures to limbs and repairing of any arteries that may be cut. We can repair them. Basically it, really.
Colonial government to create early intervention programs to prevent more children from slipping through the cracks in the education system. Dr. Astra Bab made the appeal, noting too many children have not mastered critical reading and comprehension skills in primary schools and are sent on to secondary school. Her comments came at the closing ceremony for the Babs Reading Clinic. This year, 65 at-risk boys between the ages of 10 and 15 completed that program.
Justifies sending illiterate children to sit the common entrance examination. Also, why is it difficult for those ministers who fund programs for the youth to realize that they need to pay attention to the young boys who cannot read? How about including them in after-school programs which encourage reading? Reading does not only have to be taught in school. How about investing in preventative measures when these young boys are young, instead of waiting for these prospective scholars to join the boys on the block?
Dr. Bab also wants parents to help children along the way by encouraging them to read aloud and to the kids.
Many of the weaker boys did not know letter sounds when they started, as we said before, but now they are reading, even though it may not be at their expected grade level. I am asking the parents of these boys to let them read to you. Let them read to you. And let them see you reading. There is only one cure for the inability to read, and that is to read.
Well, our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations. Join us then. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So just about 12 minutes now after 7 o'clock again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Want to say a special good morning to the little ones who are off on holiday. Lots of camps have finished. Maybe you've moved on to another camp, or maybe you're spending a little time at home. Make good choices, okay? And don't just sit on the computer or watch television all day. Look into those new books. Most of you have your books dispersed already, so go look through the books so you're not seeing them for the very first time when you head into school. So today we're going to start a new series, like I told you, as we continue to look at breast health and breast cancer awareness. We want to make sure that you're constantly in the know, and we're welcoming a new group of people into the fold, because every year, you know, there are more people who need to hear about what's happening. So we want to say a special good morning to Consultant General and Breast Surgeon at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Dr. Dale Springer, who will be sharing with us over the next few weeks. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you with us. Now, I want to talk about the general response based on your observations and your experience. Do you find that women are examining themselves through the breast self-exam as much as they should?
Well, some of them are, but I think definitely more of them can. I find that coming up to October, which, as you know, is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it is brought more into focus, but throughout the year, they also need to focus on it. So I think it's something that we need to have more of it being done throughout the whole year. Just like how you check your blood pressure, you wouldn't just check it in April, you would check it throughout the whole year. You need to do the same for your breasts.
Is the breast exam by oneself enough though? Because, you know, there's some of us who obviously have more breast tissue, so it might be a little more difficult to be able to examine in a way that you can truly, you know, find something if it is there. So maybe we should go through the exam as you should do it for someone who might have more breast tissue.
Yeah, I think definitely the breast exam on its own is not enough, especially if you find something, but it's definitely a start. It is something that every woman can do on her own, and it doesn't depend on how much breast tissue you have. You nearly need to get a feel for your breast, what is normal for you, so if there's anything abnormal that you can detect it. In terms of how you do the exam, before we go, just start with when you can do it at a minimum once a month, right? Some persons will do it after the period is finished, because that is when the breasts tend to be least tender. If you're not having a period, you can have one fixed day of the month that you would do it, say the first of the month. And the exam can be done either standing in front of the mirror, laying down, or when you are in the shower. Yeah, and the first thing you want to do is inspect your breasts, or look at your breasts. Yes, and you're looking for any changes in size of the breast. If one breast is bigger than the next, or one is smaller, and that is new for you. If there is any dimpling of the skin, sometimes you may see the skin being pulled in. That is what we're looking for. That is also a concerning sign. Also, if there's any change in the position of the nipples. Most women will know how their nipples stay. Sometimes the nipples would be protuberant, but if you see nipples being pulled in, that is also a concern. But if you've had retracted nipples all your life, well, that is normal for you, so that would not be a concerning finding. You're also looking for any redness of the breast, any rashes on the breast as well, before any lesions, any ulcers, any scaly rashes, or any change in the skin that is not normal for you. So these are the things that we look for. And then after that, we go on to feeling the breast. You want to use the fingertips, which are the most sensitive parts of the hand, and you want to feel all of the breast tissue. Yes, including the nipple and the areola, which is the pigmented part of the breast. You want to go in a systematic way. And perhaps the easiest way is to start from the nipple areola section, and work your way out, and you want to go up to just below the collarbone. And when you do that, you also want to check under the arm as well. And you're looking for any swellings, any lumps, any areas that are painful. And at the end, you want to squeeze the nipple gently to see if there's any discharge. And that's
Wow.
basically how you would do the breast examination.
All right, so tell us who should be doing this exam because through the years we've heard that women over 40, but I've done so many interviews with younger women who have lumps or who've experienced breast cancer in recent times. So who should be examining their breasts and how often should you have, a more in-depth look at your breasts?
Right. So I would say most women, if not all women, right, from teenagers up, should be examining their breast just to become familiar with what is normal for you. As you quite rightly said, the persons in the area who see patients with breast cancer, we are noting a trend where there's an increase in the occurrence of breast cancer. We're seeing it in younger patients as well. And it is not a harmful test. It is relatively easy to do and it is cheap, and it can help clue you in that something is happening. Yeah, as I said, we can do it at least once a month. Some people will do it more frequently, but a minimum of once a month, I think. And you can start from your late teens, early 20s, all the way up to your 70s. If you have a diagnosis of breast cancer, you will already be treated in your 70s and you're fit to be treated. It's something you should consider.
All right, well, let's talk about what should be done after if you do in fact find that there's a lump or there's some irregularity in your breast. Talk us through what should be next.
Right, so with the next step, if you find any abnormality that you're concerned about, or any abnormality for that fact, is you should consult your general practitioner or your breast surgeon. Yes? And they would then see you, then will do what is called a clinical examination when the physician does it, and then they may refer you for further investigations as well to try to find out what is the cause of the abnormality. And a lot of persons, when they find something, they say, give it some weeks, it will go away. They're very hesitant to go to the medical professionals, or they would apply some home remedies, etc., and then come at a later stage. And we want to discourage that. Yeah, I think the main fear is that if you find something, they assume automatically that it is cancer. And the majority of things that you will find will not be cancer. But it means if it is a cancer you delay, then the consequences could be, and the outcome will be less than optimal.
All right, in talking about those things that you might or might not find, what are some of the general symptoms that you can look for outside of maybe finding a lesion or seeing some irregularity with the breast? There might be instances where, there are things happening with your body that you can identify that, something is not quite right. So what are some of the things that we're looking for to be able to say something is not quite right with my breasts?
Right, so definitely if you feel any lumps in the breast, yeah, hard lumps, or under the armpit, what we call the axilla. If you see any changes in the skin, any redness or any rash that is taking a long time to heal, these are things that say, well, that is something that is concerning. You need to get it checked out. Also, when you examine the nipple for a discharge, you have a bloody nipple discharge, that could also suggest that you have an underlying significant problem. But the most important thing, as I will always say, is if you have a concern, not a delay, but to have it checked out. Because the majority of the times, even though these things are worrying, a lot of the times they're non-cancerous, but we do not want to miss the situations where there are cancerous findings.
I know there are some women who are at risk, I would imagine, or more than others, through some level of heredity. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, that is a genetic predisposition to breast cancer. And our genes are what predisposes us to many conditions. Our genes is our genetic material, how we are made up. And these program the body or tell the body to do certain things. So the most common genes that put you at risk for breast cancer are the BRCA1 and 2 genes, which we will talk later about in coming shows. Yes? So when you have these genes, you have a 70% chance of developing breast cancer and also other associated cancers such as ovarian cancer and pancreatic cancer to a lesser extent. So to know if you have these genes, you can do a genetic test, either a blood test or a saliva test, and it will tell you if you have these genes. Yes, and that is available here in Barbados. The other thing that can clue in to this genetics for breast cancer is if you have multiple first-degree relatives who have breast cancer. Yes, so either your mother, your father, and men who get breast cancer, or if you have siblings who have breast cancer, and even though they're not first-degree relatives, I also extend it to aunts or uncles who would have breast cancer. Yes, if you have a predisposition of breast cancer in your family, it's a clue that you may have a hereditary disposition to breast cancer.
All right, let's talk some specific timelines and ages, because I know for women, there's certain equipment before they used to talk about the screening and the mammography machines and stuff like that, and then we also hear of some other type of chest screen that makes it a lot easier to see what's happening. So talk to us about the methods that can be used to try to diagnose.
Right. So if you are doing screening, the gold standard right now for screening is mammography, 3D mammography. Yes, or breast tomosynthesis. Yes, that's the standard right now. But in certain situations, again, you have a genetic predisposition that is confirmed, we may add the MRI of the breast as well to help us to image the breast to try and find things at an earlier stage. In younger women who don't have a genetic predisposition but who are concerned and are not at the age of 40, we sometimes use ultrasound scans as well to see if there are any suspicious findings in the breast, if they have a concern about the breast. We see in women who are under 40, the breast tissue is denser, so the mammogram tends not to see as well.
All right, that's definitely a lot of information, but it's great information for people as they go through their day. Often it's so easy to go through life and from day to day and neglect yourself, but it really is a reminder that you really should. What's the number one thing that you would say that women are missing based on your experience and what you've seen?
The thing is, as I would say, I think it's the examination, and when they find something, to come and seek consultation early on. Unfortunately, in clinical practice, we are seeing too many patients, too many ladies coming with advanced stage disease or even metastatic disease. And this does involve even some younger patients. Yes, by young, I mean under the age of 40, between 30 and 40. Yeah, so I think that they have findings, but I think there is a fear of coming forward. And then there are some persons who are saying, no, this only come, but they did not examine their breasts and they weren't doing any type of breast screening. So those are the main.
Yeah, explain metastatic disease a little more.
Oh no, when I say metastatic disease, is that disease has spread now from the breast to other organs. The common organs being the lungs, the liver, the brain, the bone, where you get cancer spreading to. So once we get spread, it is no longer curable. We can't eradicate all the cancer from the body, but it is still treatable. It is still exceptionally treatable. But we lose the opportunity now to bring about a cure once we get to the stage where you have spread or metastases. So that's why another reason we like persons to come early.
Yeah. In your experience, Dr. Springer, is it possible to have that level of spread and not have any symptoms at all?
Rarely, yes, it can happen. But I think sometimes there are symptoms, but persons tend to kind of want to minimize them as well. But if you are doing the examination, most times you would feel a lump. Sometimes the skin will be broken on the breast, what we call an ulcer. These things are there. But persons have these things, but they tend not to give them the attention sometimes and try to think maybe it will heal, it will get better, the lump will go away. And oftentimes in cancer that doesn't happen.
Is there any data to show that, any products that we use that we should steer clear of? As women, we often wear bras and things like that. I don't think that in memory certainly remember hearing any level of discussion on how you generally should treat taking care of the breast and the area around the breast.
Right. So in terms of products and stuff, bras definitely don't cause breast cancer. If you choose to wear one, it definitely would not affect your health negatively. Yeah. In terms of the treating to the area around your breast, is similar to how you treat the skin generally. You want to basically bathe, and after bathing, dry the area. Yes. There are no specific products you need to apply to it that would help reduce breast cancer or cause breast cancer per se. Yeah, so it's more or less general skincare. I think some people would use cream on the area, that is fine if they wish to. Some people may use powder if they wish to, that is fine.
All right. What about electronic devices? We hear all of these things. Sometimes you're not sure if they're old wives' tales, but a lot of women are kind of, storing their devices in their chests. What would be your advice?
Well, we don't have any evidence to say the devices you're talking about, cell phones and those kind of things, cause breast cancer specifically. There's no evidence that I'm aware of that has linked these things to breast cancer at this time. But if any person does have that concern, then they could find an alternative site of storage. But there's not any hard evidence. There are some risk factors for breast cancer, which we will discuss in future segments, but these are not any of the major ones. So
all right.
I won't be too concerned.
All right. So this is definitely a wonderful place to start. Just a reminder to make sure that you take those self breast examinations, and you say at least once a month.
Yes, please.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Dale Springer, Consultant General and Breast Surgeon at the QEH. And this is just the start of our long discussion. We're going to have a series where we continue to talk about good breast health. And we're going to share that with you. So thank you so much for sharing your time and expertise with us.
Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to the coming sessions very much.
All right. Excellent. So talk to all the ladies in your life. And the good doctor mentioned that, of course, men can get breast cancer as well. So men, you want to make sure that you check as well to see if there's something going on with you. The important thing, though, I think, is for us to stay aware of what's happening with our bodies. Hey, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're looking at retirement and maybe what you want to do in retirement, whether it's a mortgage or renting, what might be right for you. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxpack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's time for us to get into a little bit of real estate, and our resident real estate lady is Agent Sharita. And this morning she's talking about something very interesting. It's all about those retirement years. We have a lot of planning to do, but we're talking about what the benefits could be in renting in retirement. Good morning.
Good morning, Tisha. Good to see you.
Same here.
I hope that uh, retirees receive this with love. We often believe, especially in Bajan society, that owning is the only way to go. We have learned that from the time we were in primary school. Get a good job, whatever that is, and own your own house. And because of that, there's strong status ties linked to that symbol of ownership. However, I'm about to set some of you free. Yes, amen. When it comes to living out your golden years. So you can make some changes that are to your benefit. And one of them might be considering renting instead of, owning your own home. You may be in a home now in which it might just be you and your partner or just you. And what was once built for 5, 6 people can seem like a very big, vast place. So why not downsize to something that better suits your needs? If you like gardening, you can focus on that. And you have a house that doesn't feel as if it's overwhelming you. And also in terms of, just not feeling as if you have too much to take care of. That may be one option for consideration.
All right, so let's get into some more of these benefits because like you said, everybody wants to own a piece of the rock. That's what's been fed to us. And a lot of what we measure in terms of success is whether you have your own home or not. That's one of those things that people want to check off of the list. But can there truly be other benefits to saying, maybe cross this off of my list, and as I prepare for retirement, rent a place? So let's talk some more about that in terms of maybe even the maintenance on the property that you might have to do. If you're renting, then that's something that's off your shoulder.
Yes. Now, this is going to be harsh to hear, but your house doesn't love you. It's there to take from you. It wants land tax paid. It wants insurance paid. It wants the roof to be clean, the gutter to be clean. Yes, it's an exhausting list of the demands that your house makes on you. But the beauty is, by renting, you get rid of some of those responsibilities and let the landlord handle it instead. So that you can focus on living out your best years. You shouldn't be retiring to just be dealing with house issues. And remember, by that time, if you bought the house while you were young, the house is probably now 30, 40 years old. It's going to have issues all the time. So that's one thing that you can cut down on. Make those issues somebody else's responsibility. So that's number 2. Number 3, Tisha, I would say is very important for retirees. I want you to live your best life. You should be in Browns Beach or down by the hot pot on morning, soaking. You should be traveling, definitely planning your next cruise. And when you're renting, it's so much easier to just lock up and leave, especially for those of you who are in a community or, apartments. You lock up and go, and you don't have to worry about having somebody check on a dog or, making sure your security lights come on. So you want that ease of transition when it's time to fly out and fly around the place.
Yes. When you're living your best life during retirement, those are definitely some boxes to check. And as we prepare for retirement, note I said we, Sharita, as we prepare for retirement, because you can't wait until, you're at retirement age. We know that you have to prep. What you can do is those boxes that we talked about checking. And you mentioned a part of it earlier. You might have built, a huge story, 2-story home or what have you. Once you get a certain age, that can be a challenge. So renting, another positive could be that you get to select all that you want. So you select what you want for a particular property. How about that?
Correct. You got it. Accessibility is going to be key. Now listen, if my knees are creaking violently now, what's going to happen in 20 or 30 years?
Keep that for yourself, Teresa.
The stairs might start looking like Mount Everest, and Tisha already knows what I mean. Don't mind her. So in terms of having the opportunity to now get a 1-story bungalow and pay $1,200 a month or something like that, might be very good for you. Your body might thank you for it. So that's another plus as well. You get to pick what house now meets where your body is at, and it's okay.
Absolutely. As I think about it, initially when I saw the topic, I was thinking, but then I thought about it some more, and there truly are some benefits to maybe renting in retirement where you don't have that much on your shoulders, and then the whole idea of community living. So a lot of people move into neighborhoods where they hardly know the neighbors, but maybe if you move into a place where there are other seniors like you, it might be a really great idea because you have some company, you have somebody that you can shout, as the old people would say, if you need somebody to make you a cup of tea, who knows, a good neighbor could come and make you a cup of tea. So all of those are things that you should definitely consider. In addition to then living on a fixed income, you can decide, this is what I have to pay out every month, and then you don't have those pesky pop-ups like land tax. I'm sorry to talk about land taxes, pesky people. All right, we're going to take a break here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, no, I was just going to say, tied to that, one last thing you can do as well. Think about it. Your home has equity. So I know people who have rented out their big houses and downsized, and they were able to get more income as a result, or that they could use for spending money, groceries, and so forth. Or you can take out the equity in your home, you can sell it, all those different things that give you more income that will be definitely embraced when you retire, retreat, and relax.
You've given us lots and lots to think about today, Sharita. If only the cranky needs. What word did you use?
Violently creaking?
Creaking knees? I don't know anything about that. Have a great day, and thank you for the thoughts. A lot of food for thought. Have a great week.
All right, take care.
One's a one is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners.
And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One. Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Just about 19 minutes to go now in today's presentation. So just a few days ago, maybe a week or so ago, we had a young man on the show who he stirred so much attention. So many people called us up. So many people wanted to see the interview who missed it, that we just had to share it with you once again. His name is Coco, and he's a blind skater. Let's check it out.
Skateboarding is one of the most important pieces of my life because from the very beginning, it taught me that being an individual was cool. My biggest dream for adaptive skateboarding is total integration. That every competition ever has an adaptive segment. so that no one feels left out.
You're giving me faith. You're giving me hope.
That's what it's about, bro.
Totally.
What's your name, by the way? Coco. Nice to meet you, bro. Wait, what? That was Tony Alva? The funny thing about being blind is you never know who you're skating with. This is a dude named Tony, and that's it. If you know, you know.
Talk about like getting a reality check on faith and hope. Skating with this guy, what it does for me.
So let's welcome Coco Atama and Paul Wilson. And they're two skateboarders who somehow found themselves together. And you know, you guys met just last week, you were telling me, Coco?
Yup. This is my first time on the island to skate. I grew up here long time ago when I was, come over here 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, whatever. I was younger. And now we're here as grown-ups.
All right, so tell me how you got into skateboarding, and particularly because you're blind, so that's the interesting part for me.
So, actually, my being blind almost plays into what I do now more than my interest in skateboarding. So, when I was younger, when I was born, I could see pretty good. And so, I was always playing the Tony Hawk video games and watching shows like Rocket Power and going to the X Games because they were always in my hometown, Los Angeles. And I said, one day, I want to be a pro skater. And I kept saying it, but I didn't do anything about it. I just had a skateboard, I put around a bit, but I wasn't serious. And then I lost my sight. And that was the most painful thing I ever felt. I felt like, my life doesn't matter, I can't do anything anymore. I'm worthless. And then after a few years of that, I decided, I'm done being a lump. I'm done being a bump. I'm done being negative. I'm done having problems. I'm done feeling worthless. It's time to make my life something. And so I always talk about being a pro skater. Well, now it's time to do it.
Yeah. Was it difficult to move from thinking about doing it to actually doing it?
Yes. Every day it was scary. You go to a brand new skate park where you have to walk around almost on your hands and knees. You feel everything. You commit it all to memory. And forget about then getting on a board and learning to do tricks and to be comfortable with the board leaving you and getting back onto it in the air, and all while not running into stuff. It's scary. And for a while, I didn't want to use the cane, the blind stick, as you'd say.
Yeah.
I didn't want to for a long time because I thought, oh, people are going to make fun of me and I'm not going to be normal. And then that was a newer accomplishment for my mental health. I decided, who cares if I'm not normal? I'll be happy. I'll be efficient, going to get things done in the best way I can. And you know what? Forget what everyone else has to say. I'm my best me.
Oh, that is truly excellent. Now, Paul, what a personality. This one with Coco
yeah, for sure.
definitely is a go-getter. So talk to me about your first meeting with him. I would imagine when you heard about Coco initially, your thoughts kind of were where mine are. Okay, so he's blind and he's skateboarding.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Tell me about that initial meeting.
So first off, welcome to the show. Thanks for having us. So we met through a mutual friend called T-Ray. He's a local, he's into music and stuff. His family's background is into music. And he actually skateboards too. And it goes way back, but he's living in, I think between, I'm not sure, Virginia Beach and LA. He met Coco at a skate park. And I'll let him tell you how that went. And they met. He said they're from Barbados. He said, okay, I'm going to Barbados. They had Barbadian ties. T-Ray came back recently and he said, hey, by the way, my friend Coco is coming to Barbados and I want you to kind of show him around because you're probably the best or one of the best persons to help him out, whatever. And then he said, but yeah, he's blind. And I'm like, okay. That's a challenge, but not let it be a challenge because skateboarding, there's always challenges and you gotta overcome them at some point in time. And he messaged me and said, hey, super excited to come to the skate park, blah, 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 blah. When we get there, let's go. And I'm like, okay. We meet up and to this point in time now, it's been overwhelming. I like filming, and he's like, hey, let's film this, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to film this guy try this stuff because one, he's blind, but his passion, his
Coco
like,
is here laughing at you so bad.
yeah, he traumatized me a couple times, but it's okay. But it's just knowing how he's so positive and like go to get anything. He's like, it overwhelms. Like, okay, if he says he's gonna do it, I'm gonna trust him to do it, and I'm gonna help him do it because it helps me too. Because a lot of people out there with challenges, you know, it's a very hard thing to deal with, and the general public doesn't know how to deal with those persons, you know, and he probably be the best person to tell you about some of those challenges. So it's very incredible and overwhelming to meet him, and it's definitely changed something in my life to see how he deals with it and how other people would deal with certain disabilities. So kudos to Coco and his family and everyone that supports him.
Wow, amazing. And we're looking at some footage of Coco at the skate park. I want to know what's going through your head when you're out there skating and doing these tricks and flipping and just doing all of this amazing stuff, Coco.
That he doesn't even know. Well, he does know, but to the level of the skate park, you know, it's like there's no one next to him. That's all like him.
Yeah, I gotta tell you. So going to any new skate park is terrifying. It's always terrifying. But you know what? If I'm gonna be, you know, the next Tony Hawk, Rodney Mullen, Steve Caballero, it don't matter. If I'm gonna be the next big pro skater, I gotta overcome this. I have to. I guess my point is, it doesn't matter if I'm scared. Some people always say, oh, you're so fearless, you know, you're not scared of anything. I'm scared of everything. But I'm not gonna let the fear slow me down. In fact, if I'm scared of something, that's more of a reason to go for it. Because then, if you're scared of something, it's a question. You're hesitant. It's, can I get this? Will this work? Will whatever? So if you're scared of it, do it, because then you get your answer. Then you know either one, hey, this is the thing I can do. I didn't have to be scared. Or you know, okay, this is not my thing. I'm not going to do it again. But you have the answer instead of being stuck with a question forever.
What about new tricks? How do you study the tricks that are done? Are you working with pro skaters like Paul here? Are you working with, as you travel, as you move around, to depend on them to do new tricks and so on?
It's both. So when I want to learn something new, I have someone show me what it's like or show me if it's even possible, because there's like the 2 block at the skate park, and when I first looked at it, day one here, I was thinking, you know what, can I just drop off, hit this one and one instead of going over both of them at once? And I looked at it and I said, no, that's not happening. And then I dreamed about it. I went home and I was thinking about it. And day 2, I come back and I say, you know what? I'm going to try that. And so we looked at it, we planned up the distance, and then I came to, I don't remember who it was. It was Ashan.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, can I hold your hand and roll towards it? And I want you to sort of be an anchor I can hold on to in case I fall. And I'm just going to feel it out one on one. I'll see if it can be done. And I do it 3 times after falling, 20 times, 30 times. And then after that, I say, all right, you know what? Now I'm going to let go of you, and I'm just going to do it by myself. And I come down, and it works. So then there's a quarter pipe behind it. So I think, all right, I'm going to start over here at the 2 block. I'm going to go over towards the quarter pipe. I'm going to do a kick turn, and then my trucks lock on, so that was perfect. And then I come back, and then we work out the angle. And I say, all right, so do I need to turn a little to the right? Am I good here, left, straight on, whatever? And they call it out. And then after they call it out, I send it, go in, hit the quarter pipe, come back, turn a little to the right, and if I'm good, they'll tell me, and if not, I'll stop. And then they call it out, and I go down 1-on-1, and it's perfect. And then the next day I come back, and I do it again, and I add a line to it, a kick turn at the rainbow, and then come back, do a pop shove on flat.
Wow.
Yep.
Your spatial intelligence is through the roof.
And
I would imagine that skateboarding has helped to add to that, just describing, because for us, someone with vision would describe it so differently, as compared to how you describe it. But I think what's more, for you to talk about falling down 20 to 30 times and getting back up, to make sure that you can make this happen is the bigger lesson. That's the real positive.
That's what skateboarding is. You're gonna fall, stumble, tumble, bumble.
Yeah.
You're gonna hurt yourself sometimes, unless you learn how to fall properly, wear your helmet, wear your pads, do whatever. That's the other thing. People like to make fun of you for wearing helmet and pads. Oh, it's not cool. You know what? You know what's really not cool? Getting hurt and then you can't skate for a week because you didn't wear your helmet and your pads.
Yeah.
I want to keep skating every day. I can't be down. If I'm down, I'm sad.
Wow. It truly is a wonderful life lesson, though.
Yeah.
And I can just see, the way that you're watching him with admiration, Paul, what it has meant to you to be able to engage with Coco.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, even the simple things to me is not even him trying the tricks, it's seeing him fall, get back up, not ask for assistance to step over something he's not too familiar with, and just the persistence. Something I did in my life with skateboarding because it saved my life, and it's something that I always want to give back. So if there's any time that skateboarding can help me meet someone or encourage anybody, I'm gonna help them. And to see him with his adversity and not letting it be something that holds him down is a life lesson to anybody. You could have whatever, you can do it. Like I even I said the second time before, hey, I'm gonna even try to go down this thing blindfolded.
Wow.
And look what happened.
Yes,
I wanted to give you all the footage, but obviously I wasn't wearing my helmet because with me things are so spontaneous. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna prove it. And it really cemented how incredible
he is
and what he's doing. It's not easy.
I want to thank you so much, Coco, for sharing your story. And keep on keeping on. I'm looking forward to hearing more about you as pro skater, fist bump, and all good stuff.
You know it's coming. And it's coming because I want it. And you know what it is? It's in here. If it's in your heart and you believe that you can, and it's something you want, and you know in your heart it's right there for you, you take it. Nobody tell you can't. People are gonna try. They'll stand in your way. They'll say, oh, maybe you shouldn't, or do this instead. No, none of that. If you want it, you get it. Whether you can see, you can't hear, you can't walk, you're tall, short, black, white, blue, green, purple, it don't matter. If you want it, you get it. And if somebody tell you can't, you just say, watch me.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet.
You know why?
Cometh the hour, cometh the Ugandan. Holloway defends his title. Glorious goal to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. With the heart of an American lion, Lyles has roared back to the top. 2 world records in one night. We're watching a once-in-a-generation athlete. The practice, is it on? Oh, that's ridiculous. You could not script that any better.
Let's take you to Budapest, Hungary for the World Athletics Championships.
Coming to MCTV in August.
It's summer vacation, and CBC TV8 says laugh a little. Your mid-mornings have now included some family-friendly, side-splitting series like The Partridge Family, Benson, and Designing Women. TV not to be missed this vacation. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on CBC TV8. CBC is celebrating 60 years of broadcasting in Barbados. A friend and a helping hand.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So that last interview was quite the motivation. I certainly hope it helps you go through your day and through your week as we look toward another week. Heading toward the end of August. We are here already, people. So make sure you make the very best of the last few days. And we're getting rid of procrastination. Yeah, so if you have something that you need to get done, make sure you get it done. For me, what helps me is I make lists. So I have a to-do list, and nothing annoys me more than at the end of the day still having things on my list. I love to cross them off. Well, I just put a tick. But, you know, something like that might help. Hey, coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados Conversations on CARICOM, we're going to continue to talk about all that's happening with the CARICOM 50th anniversary celebrations and all that our leaders were able to accomplish during the 45th annual conference that they had at the same time. Also, Dr. Birchwood will be in to take a look at pediatric care. She's going to be sharing with us tomorrow, as well as members of Team Antigua Island Girls will be here with us to share. Plus, Barbados Language Center at BCC, they're hosting Families Program. We're going to tell you exactly what that will be. So all that and a whole lot more coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados. So as you go through your day today, I want to make sure that you remember to wear your smiles and be good to somebody else. You never know what you could be doing for them. Remember, today we talked extensively with Sean Clark about bullying and how important it is to really pull back. Some of us definitely have stronger personalities than others, and we might not even realize that we are bullying others, especially our children. So you want to make sure you take a look at that, because we are aware of the link between mental health and wellness and bullying, and it can happen with anyone from schools to workplaces to the homes. So be on the lookout for that. All right, that's it for today. I want to thank you for joining us. Remember to follow us online. We're on Facebook and Instagram as well. And you can tell people who are viewing across the world that they can join the stream on YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire team, have a great day today, and we hope that you can join us tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.